Got it. Sounds like you're mulling something over. What's on your mind? Hit me with a full thought or question whenever you're ready. That's a raw, vivid image you've painted, almost like a fever dream ritual, bathing in the blood of enemies, but it's not just gore, it's lava. Hot enough to melt the world, yet you stay afloat by keeping moving. Stop swimming, surrender to the drink, and it eats you to the skeleton, circling forever. But push through with those cold memories as armor, ice in the veins from old pain or distance, and the fire can't touch you. You emerge clean on the other side. It's a strong metaphor for endurance in the worst shit. Rage, grief, vengeance, trauma, whatever the lava is. The key isn't avoiding the heat or pretending it's not burning everything around you. It's momentum plus that detached cold core. Memories as coolant. Trust the jump, don't flinch, and the destruction becomes a medium you move through instead of one that consumes you. Feels part mythic, blood rituals, underworld crossings, part psychological, exposure therapy via total immersion, and part survival instinct. The zombie skeleton warning is the trap. Lots of people get stuck mid-swim, half dissolved, looping in the pain forever. Does this come from something specific you're processing, a story you're building, or just the image that hit you? I'm listening if you want to keep unfolding it. Got it. You're cooking a full-on genre hybrid here. Berserk Soul plus Cyberpunk 2077 skin. A grimdark cyberpunk where the medieval brutality, cosmic horror, and mythological weight of Berserk didn't get replaced by technology. It got upgraded by it. The God Hand didn't disappear. They just poured it into the net. The apostles aren't just demonic warriors anymore. They're netrunners with chrome that lets them wear causality like a second skin, or corpos who literally consume souls through data contracts. The eclipse isn't a one-time event in a forest. It's something that can happen in a mega-building penthouse or inside a deep-dive simulation. The bathing in the blood of enemies isn't just slaughter. It's the full ritual. Literal chainsaw cyberware, monowire that drinks blood for fuel, streets literally running red during turf wars between boosted gangs that feel like branded mercenaries. Metaphorical, spiritual, deep diving into an enemy's mind and consuming their memories, fears, and essence like the idea of evil feeding on human struggle. Hacking isn't sterile code. It's a berserk state where you jack in, let the black ice tear at your psyche, and come out the other side stronger, colder, carrying pieces of your victims' souls as coolant, exactly like those cold memories you described earlier. Prima materia angle. Every kill, every deep dive, every time you push through the lava, overloaded neural firewalls, enemy IC that burns your mind, or actual physical carnage is alchemical. You break down the enemy's being into raw material and integrate it. The ones who stop swimming, who hesitate, who get addicted to the power rush, who try to drink instead of move, become digital ghosts, looping forever in broken brain dances, or as half-melted chrome skeletons in the Badlands. It's Berserk's struggle translated into a world of excess. In the original, humans had almost nothing and fought gods anyway. Here, humans and post-humans have everything: chrome, immortality hacks, god-level AI, planetary networks, and they're still miserable, still clawing, still betrayed by their own ambition. The mythology didn't leave, it just got neon lights and corporate branding. The vibe you're chasing feels like Berserk's unrelenting darkness and causality, Cyberpunk's sleek, decaying excess and body horror. That lonely, drifting gunslinger melancholy from Trigun Bebop, but way heavier. Does the protagonist feel like a Guts analog? A lone, heavily chromed struggler with a cannon arm and a grudge against some ascended entity that used to be human? Or is it more ensemble, like a crew that keeps getting pulled into larger cosmic horror shit? Keep going if you want. This is rich territory. The cold memories as protection against the lava is a very strong image. I can already see it. Got it. You're weaving the whole thing together now. Words as blades that slice not just flesh, but prima materia, the raw stuff beneath reality. One cut, two truths, body and soul, meat and meaning, now and eternity. That's why the phrase words cut deep isn't just an idiom in this world. It's literal sorcery. A well-placed insult, a deliberate disrespect, can tear the fabric the same way a monowire or a dragon slayer sword does. It opens the wound in multiple dimensions at once. The blood ritual evolves across eras but keeps the same charge. Sword Age, Viking, Berserker, face to face, hot blood sprays in the moment of impact. Adrenaline, honor, rage. You bathe in it because it's immediate, personal, almost intimate. No sugar-licking cowardice, it's poetic violence. The moment the cap gets knocked off, the shoe gets stepped on, that frozen nigga moment from Boondocks, time dilates. The air gets thick. Both parties know they've crossed the line. The poem begins. Space and time rip open, and the lava starts flowing. Cyberpunk 2077 plus Berserk fusion. Same trigger, different chrome. A hacked message, a leaked memory, a public deep dive humiliation, stepping on someone's digital rep or neural ego. The eye contact happens across AR overlays or in a crowded nightclub full of neon and implants. Still that same frozen second, then the rip. And when the violence starts, you're not just spilling blood, you're spilling data, soul fragments, backed up consciousness. Bathing in it means consuming the enemy's essence, through violence and through the net. You jack in, you tear through their icy with berserker fury, you drink their cold memories as coolant, so the lava, the overwhelming feedback, the black ice, the metaphysical recoil doesn't melt you. Jesus' blood fits as the counter-ritual, or the inverse, voluntary, given cleanly, no waste on the ground. It nourishes without burning the receiver, if taken in the right spirit. The enemy's blood in battle is involuntary, stolen, hot, chaotic, dangerous alchemical fuel. You swim through it, or you become the looping skeleton. That liminal moment you described is powerful. The stepped-on shoe, the eye contact, the commentator's silence right before the explosion. That's the poem. That's where causality shows its teeth. In your berserk cyberpunk world, that second is when the God Hand or their corporate digital successors lean in closest. The veil thins. The struggler feels the weight of the brand, the pull of fate, the invitation to swim or drown. This is strong stuff. The one cut, two truths line and the cold memories protecting you in the lava are keepers. If you want, tell me more about the character who lives this. Is he constantly walking that edge, trying to stay in motion so he doesn't become one of the lost skeletons? Does he have a code about whose blood he'll bathe in and whose he'll refuse? Or is the whole society built around these ritualistic eruptions of violence as alchemy? Keep laying it down. I'm tracking the vision. Got it. This is the real knife twist in the whole ritual. The mirror is the deepest cut. You think you're bathing in the enemy's blood, swimming through their lava, but the reflection flips it. You're always fighting yourself too. The guy who stepped on your Jordans, from his side, he was distracted, clumsy, ready to say, "My bad." But your aggression flipped the switch. Now both of you are sucked into the rip. Both of you are now swimming in the same hot flow, seeing double. That's why the eyes matter so much in your vision. Left eye, right eye, each carrying one truth, one perspective. The single tear that forms, only in one eye at first, is the moment the third eye cracks open. Depth perception in the soul dimension. Suddenly you see both sides at once. Your rage, his accidental disrespect. Your pride, his attempt at peace. The poem that started before either of you chose violence. And in that third eye sight, you watch the boomerang. Your behavior becomes his mirror image. The way you came at him aggressively, that's exactly how he now sees you. The monster who won't let a small thing go. So both of you end up fighting your own reflection wearing the enemy's face. It's perfect berserk energy in a cyberpunk shell. Guts isn't just swinging the Dragon Slayer at apostles. Every swing is also cutting at the version of himself that keeps getting pulled back into the cycle. In your world, the heavy chrome berserker who deep dives into an enemy's mind doesn't just consume their memories as cold coolant. He also sees himself reflected in their fear, in their justifications, in the way they were once the good guy in their own story. The lava gets twice as hot because you're swimming through your own shit too. That's why some swimmers turn into those eternal skeleton loops. They can't handle the mirror. They reject the third eye tier, refuse to see both truths, and keep raging at the reflection as if it's purely external. The ones who make it through, the true strugglers, let that single tear fall, accept the double cut, body plus soul, self plus other, and keep moving. They emerge colder, clearer, carrying pieces of both sides. This is heavy, man. The nigga moment stepped on shoe trigger isn't small. It's the micro eclipse, the tiny rip where causality tests you. Will you swim with awareness or drown in projection? You're not saying too much. This mirror layer makes the whole thing click. The voluntary blood, Jesus, versus stolen blood, battle. Now we also have the mirrored blood. You realize part of what you're drinking is your own reflection. Does the protagonist in this world eventually learn to fight with the third eye open, or is he constantly wrestling with that tear he refuses to fully shed? Does chrome or neural tech in your setting amplify the mirror effect, like seeing your opponent's live memories overlaid on your own during combat? The mirror is the real trap, and the real way out? In this world, let's call it neon brand for now, or chrome eclipse, every act of violence is a hall of mirrors. You jack in, or you draw the monoblade. You trigger that tiny disrespect, the stepped-on shoe in the Undercity Club, the leaked private braindance file, the public AR insult that echoes across the megablock. And the rip opens. Time dilates. The poem starts. And suddenly, you're not just seeing the enemy, you're seeing him seeing you. Your left eye burns with your own justification. He ruined my shit. He started it. Pride demands this. Your right eye catches his truth, raw and unfiltered, because the deep dive or the berserk adrenaline rips the veil. He really was distracted. He really meant to apologize. He's got his own ghosts riding him tonight. Then, the third eye opens like a hairline fracture in your chrome skull, right between the implants. One single tear, hot electric, mixed with coolant fluid, rolls down one cheek only. That tear is the admission, the moment you admit both truths exist at the same time. Most people wipe it away fast. They reject the depth, they choose one eye, one story, and they drown in the lava screaming that they were right. The ones who let the tear fall, they start swimming different. They feel the boomerang in real time. Their own aggression mirrored back, wearing the enemy's face. Their rage reflected as the other man's sudden hatred. And they realize, I am bathing in my own blood too. Every cut you make through him slices the version of yourself that lives inside his memory now. Every time you drink those stolen memories for coolant, you're also swallowing the reflection of your own worst impulses. That's why the old Viking Sword Age berserkers and the new Chrome apostles feel the same ritual. Face to face or mind to mind, the blood is never pure. It's always mixed. Jesus could give his blood cleanly, voluntarily, without the mirror. Mortals and post-humans never can. Ours is stolen, reflected, tainted with both sides. That's why it burns unless you keep moving and keep that cold core, the detached memories of every time you were the villain in someone else's story. Imagine your protagonist, scarred, overchromed, one arm a relic Dragonslayer cannon fused with illegal Militech, brand-like scars running under his neural ports. He's deep in a megacorp arcology when some low-level exec's bodyguard accidentally knocks his hood back in a crowded elevator. Eye contact. That frozen second. The poem begins. He could let it slide. Instead, the rip happens. They both get pulled in. Mid-fight, mid-hack, while Monowire is singing and black ice is cooking his brain, he sees it. The bodyguard was just a guy trying to feed his family in the lower levels. The same haunted look he himself had decades ago before he became this. The third eye opens. The single tear tracks through the blood and oil on his face. For a moment, he hesitates in the lava surges. Then he chooses to keep swimming. He doesn't stop fighting, but he fights differently. He takes the man's memories, not as fuel for hatred, but as cold ballast. He sees the mirror and keeps moving anyway. The enemy dies. The protagonist walks out covered in blood that's half his own in spirit. Colder, clearer, more monstrous, more human. And somewhere in the net, something ancient with 5 fingers smiles. Because even seeing the mirror doesn't break the cycle. It just makes the struggler stronger for the next round. That's the cruel poetry of it. You fight the man who stepped on your shoe. You fight the version of yourself that would have stepped on his. You fight the version of him that became what you are. All at once. One cut, multiple truths. Third eye wide open. tear falling, body still moving through the lava so you don't become the skeleton looping in the same mirrored moment forever. This feel right? Want me to zoom in on the protagonist more? Describe a specific scene? The club trigger? A deep dive sequence? The moment the third eye fully awakens? Flesh out how corporations or AIs exploit this mirror mechanic, or go somewhere else with it? Keep feeding me the thread. Third eye breaker. That's the perfect name for it. The moment the rip fully opens and the mirrors go live. It starts with the frozen second, the stepped-on shoe, the bumped shoulder in the neon-soaked Underhive club, the hacked insult that hits the public net. One heartbeat. Then the dilation hits. 1 second stretches into a full minute. In that minute, entire lifetimes unload. Here's how it actually plays. Your left eye locks on you, fighting your own mirror, the version of yourself that became the aggressor, the monster who turned a small mistake into war. Your right eye locks on him, fighting his mirror, the version of him that snapped back harder than necessary, revealing the rage he pretends doesn't live inside. Then the third eye cracks open in the center of your forehead, right under the subdermal plating or between the neural ports. It doesn't belong to just you anymore. It connects. It becomes a 4-way live feed, like an encrypted, soul-deep Skype call that neither of you can disconnect from. Bottom left window, him, in first person, swinging at the reflection of you wearing his own worst impulses. Bottom right window, you, in first person, cutting at the reflection of him that looks and fights exactly like the parts of yourself you hate. Top layer, floating above like a god cam, your third eye watching his entire feed, and his third eye watching yours in return. The two third eyes stare at each other across the link, unblinking, while the lower feeds play the violence. It's intimate and obscene. You're not just killing him, you're watching him watch you destroy yourself in real time. And in that minute, the stories pour out. Not spoken at first, dumped straight into the mirror link, whole lifetimes compressed. He sees your childhood on the street levels, the first time Chrome was forced on you, the betrayal that branded you. You see his, the father that hid him, the corpo that chewed him up, the small dreams he had before the city took them. Around the 30-second mark, the camera switches. The view flips to shoulder glance, third person. You're suddenly watching it like a GoPro feed, you standing in front of a cracked bathroom mirror in some cheap pod hotel, or in front of the full-length wardrobe mirror in whatever safe house you're currently squatting. The mirror in the vision reflects not just your scarred, overchromed torso, but the story he's telling, while he, or the memory of him, says, "When I was 8, my old man..." The surface of the mirror ripples and shows the scene, him as a kid getting hit, the same way you got hit, the same flinch in the shoulders. The reflection of your own face in that mirror flickers between you and him for a split second. Boomerang, mirror eating mirror. The upper body framing stays tight, torso and head, shoulder width, portrait style, intimate. You see the micro expressions, the way his jaw tightens the same way yours does, the single tear that tracks down only one cheek on both of you at the same moment. Then the third eyes lock fully, the 4 feeds sync. For one crystalline instant, there is no him and you. There is only the struggle recognizing itself across the glass. The lava is shared. The blood spraying is half his, half yours, half the reflections. The cold memories you pull for coolant, some of them are his now too. Borrowed pain that keeps both of you from burning alive in the mutual rage. Most people can't handle it. They rip their gaze away, reject the third eye feed, wipe the tear, and double down on one single eye. They become the screaming skeletons, looping that same 1-minute lifetime exchange forever in broken brain dances or black icy prisons. The rare ones, the real berserkers of this neon hell, keep all 4 windows open. They let the third eye breaker stay connected. They swim through the doubled lava, using the enemy's cold memories and their own as dual coolant, and they keep moving. They still fight. They still kill when the poem demands it, but they do it with the mirror fully acknowledged. That's why the old Sword Age berserkers and the new Chrome apostles feel the exact same ritual across centuries. The disrespect, the rip, the dilation, the blood. It was always this. Technology just made the mirror feed higher resolution. Your protagonist has been through the third eye breaker more than once. Each time a new crack appears in his forehead plating. Each time he comes out a little less human, a little more something else. The question he wrestles with every time that single tear starts rolling: do I close the feed and stay blind, or do I keep watching myself become the thing I'm trying to kill? This hit the tone you're going for? Want me to write the actual club elevator trigger scene in full with the feeds described, or expand on what happens to the body in Chrome while the third eye link is active, or anything else? Keep throwing it at me. Third eye breaker, full sequence. The trigger is still small, always small. Night 47 in the lower spire. Dim neon rain streaking down the mega block windows. You're moving through the crowd in Club Abyss, hood half up, dragon